Tonight, a Metro success story in its struggle against HIV/AIDS.
I enjoy what I'm doing. I see the benefits of the program. I see the improvement in the patients.
And an unholy battle over the use of municipal parks by religious groups.
It's a legacy of the past where people should have places of worship. If people do not want to go to any particular church A or any church B, they must be allowed to go to church C.
And good evening to you, and welcome to another special pre-election program series. My name is Tabiso Sitole.
And my name is Leanne Manus. Good evening, everybody. In tonight's program, we'll take a look at the local election prospects in KwaZulu-Natal.
And once again, many thanks to our viewers who've been contributing via SMS comments. Remember to begin your SMS with the word elect, followed by the rest of your message, and that will cost you R1.50 each.
Well, let's, as usual, begin our program with a wrap of today's latest election news. This time, it's been compiled by Isabel de Taifa.
Sign here, please. The Independent Electoral Commission got the country's farmers and labour bosses to commit to a positive election atmosphere. Unions accuse farmers of refusing their workers time off to vote.
Farmers, I want to say to you, you have helped us, continue to do so. Farm workers do not have transport. And what has happened in the past, and I hope you'll continue to do it, to provide free transport.
We will assist them by using our vehicles to ensure that they get to the polling stations.
The IEC is considering voting stations on farms in future to ease the pressure on all parties. From the farms to the bright lights, Metropolitans are buzzing about who their new mayors could be. Last night, the Congress of the People introduced its candidate for Tshwane, Kedibone Matebe. This auditor from Soshanguve promised to grab the bull by the horns.
To fight poverty so that people will be able to afford the rates and taxes. As you are aware that there are increases of like that. That's number one. The second thing is to fight corruption, mismanagement, and related issues of incompetence of the administrative staff.
In Cape Town, the DA's candidate Patricia de Lille is focusing on the mother city's economy and infrastructure. She wants the Metro to work with the province to create a Western Cape Economic Development Agency. The ANC refuses to play its hand on mayors, so it's all down to speculation at the moment. There's a particular curiosity on who might take the reins in the country's economic hub.
All we can tell you is that Bucks is in the list and is one of our key candidates in the city of Johannesburg.
In the Eastern Cape's new metro of Buffalo City, the PAC were out on foot today. Party leaders went door to door at Reeston on the outskirts of the metro. That's after negotiating their way through an alleged ANC supporter blockade.
As PAC, we're here with solutions, because we're saying people must vote for PAC, people must vote for PAC because we have solutions to their problem.
And the National Freedom Party is setting its sights on winning the entire KwaZulu-Natal South Coast. Party leader Zanele Magwaza Msibi was campaigning in the ANC strongholds of Ilovo, Vulamelo and Dududu. She promised them a new experience in local government.
They will be voting for a clean government. If they vote for the National Freedom Party, they will be voting for a government that is going to be transparent and accountable to the people.
Now, KwaZulu-Natal is one of South Africa's provinces which is always closely watched during elections. Political rivalry has kept the province in the national spotlight for years now. Renee Heiner found this report for us.
KwaZulu-Natal is recapitalizing on its image as not only a top domestic tourist destination, but also as a growing economic hub. The province is the second largest contributor to the country's gross domestic product after Gauteng. The new King Shaka International Airport and the expansion of the Durban port are just some of the major developments aimed at attracting investment and boosting the province's economic growth. The growing industrial areas in Durban and Richards Bay have been important in creating employment and growth opportunities. But the province continues to battle large-scale poverty and unemployment in especially the rural areas.
The primary concerns of many people in this province is poverty.
people are unemployed. I think we're emerging from the recession, and the statistics are put at about 25%. But besides that, even before the recession, if you go to quite a number of rural areas, you can see that there is serious poverty, there is unemployment. And I think to a large extent, something that will have to be watched very carefully is whether people are now beginning to join what's happening in the rest of the country in many areas where people have expressed dissatisfaction, anger, especially with the behavior of elected local government officials. I think those are some of the issues that will be watched very, very closely.
And the province has had to deal with the scourge of HIV and AIDS for years, and still has the highest HIV infection rate in the country. This has led to serious social challenges, including an increase in children orphaned by HIV and AIDS, and a growing number of child-headed households. The province has doubled its provision of sanitation and electricity to households since democracy, but has failed to wipe out the backlog in housing. Tender irregularities in housing projects and poor quality RDP houses are some of the key issues which have plagued municipalities. A limited rates base in rural municipalities has hampered service delivery, but poor service delivery is largely attributed to fraud, corruption and maladministration. As a result, 4 municipalities have been placed under administration. They include both ANC and IFP-run councils. Services came to a near halt in the Mzinduzi municipality, which incorporates the capital Pietermaritzburg, over financial mismanagement. Since the province's intervention, there's been a complete turnaround of its operations, but the city's plan to attain metro status is on hold. The eThekwini metro has also been tainted by recent allegations of fraud and corruption. A number of top officials have been implicated, with several investigations underway. In this election, the politics will be as dynamic as ever. The IFP has been steadily losing its grip over the province. The ANC has made inroads into the IFP's traditional rural strongholds and is gearing up to take over more IFP municipalities in this election. However, this time there will be interest on the effect of the split in the IFP. The breakaway NFP, according to analysts, poses a real threat.
If you look at what has happened and the reports again in more recent sort of breakaway of the NFP from the IFP, and of course you'd remember the altercations between the ANC and the Congress of the People in 2009. If the levels of political tolerance are not watched carefully, they may actually give us a wrong impression of how people are performing and how the political parties are faring on the ground.
Other opposition parties, such as the DA, are campaigning to break new ground in rural municipalities. The smaller Minority Front will also be competing in traditional Indian areas. While political parties have committed themselves to free and fair campaigning, concern has been raised about political intolerance. This after 2 councillors were killed in the run-up to the polls, in what was believed to be politically motivated attacks. Security has already been beefed up in hotly contested areas. Renee Heine, SABC News, Durban.
Well, coming up after the break, a look at a fierce debate which is raging in KwaZulu-Natal about the use of municipal parks by religious groups. This is one not to be missed.
Game's birthday and the big deals are back. This is your chance to win 160,000 Rand worth of game gift cards.
Make sure you have your game leaflet and the phone ready for you to win big.
The smart energy saving LG 42-inch LED TV was 9,999, now only 7,899.
Keep the kids busy with this Barney, Hot Wheels or Barbie DVD gift sets, now only $129.99. Or get constructive with the Lego 325-piece basic brick set for only $99.99.
Capture those priceless moments with the Sony S1900 10.1 megapixel digital camera with 3 times optical zoom for only $699.99.
Celsius helping us celebrate with this LG C105 camera phone, now only $599. Don't forget to insure your phone at Game. See in-store for details.
Got your leaflet and a phone ready? It's time for you to win big. What is the screen size of the Sony S1900 digital camera? SMS your answer to 33161 or enter online at game.co.za.
Hurry, SMS lines close in 1 hour.
Don't forget to join us on another round of What's the Big Deal tomorrow night, right here at 6:10. See you tomorrow.
What's the big deal?
Are you making it easier for germs to grow on your dentures? You are if you use toothpaste instead of soaking them in Corega. Toothpaste is abrasive. Look, scratches where germs can grow. I recommend replacing toothpaste with Corega. It cleans without scratching and kills 99.9% of odor-causing germs. Use Corega every day. Get Corega Whitening Cleanser tablets with a non-abrasive formula to effectively restore your dentures to their original whiteness.
Welcome back. You're watching a live special pre-election program on SABC2. We're focusing in on KwaZulu-Natal this evening, and it still has the highest number of HIV cases in the country, with a prevalence rate of 39.5% among women who've visited antenatal clinics.
Now, the question is government doing enough to combat HIV/AIDS? Well, let's hear what our viewers had to say about this burning issue.
Ngicabanga ukuthi government iwenze konke okusemandleni ukusifundisa ngokuyiphatha ukusifundisa zama campaigns.
What I appreciated the most when I look at it is when the government introduced this new the drugs to prevent the mother and child infection.
I don't really think so, because people are really suffering, and when you go to the clinics there's huge queues.
Uhulumeni wenza imizamo emikhulu kakhulu ukuthi alwe nesimo segciwane lengculazi. Kodwa kokuthina mphakathi uthi senze njani siyahlangabezana nohulumeni.
No, I don't think so. The government is doing enough for the HIV, because it's an ongoing thing. It's every day that people are being raped and HIV is being spread.
Kunala maphilisi asetshenziswayo ekuthiwa ayanikezwa omama bakhulelwe ukuthi bavikeleke ingane.
My personal opinion is that the money spent elsewhere could be spent on fighting HIV.
Now, even though South Africa has aggressively started rolling out an antiretroviral programs, many people are still not receiving this treatment. KwaZulu-Natal's largest municipality, the eThekwini Metro in Durban, has helped in the fight against the disease with an efficient ARV program.
The Durban Metro faces many critical challenges. On the health front, eThekwini recently made headlines when it was announced that it leads the world with the highest number of tuberculosis cases related to a high HIV rate in the province. But it's not all doom and gloom. The National Ministry recently introduced new equipment and measures to help control TB, while the city's clinics are making progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS. The municipality has one of the best antiretroviral programs in the province. It runs 60 clinics, and more than half of these provide ARV treatment.
We started with a total of 11 in August 2010. This provided us with a good opportunity to learn lessons from this, specifically in terms of the quality of services that we needed to provide.
In less than a year, the clinics have put more than 5,000 patients on ARV treatment. Of these, only 52 patients have been lost to the system.
And this is a concern for us, although it's about 1% of the total number of patients that we have initiated and have kept on our registers. We are still worried about that.
Because of the added responsibility, staff work around the clock. The city hasn't employed more staff. The ARV program is partially funded by the Provincial Department of Health. This busy clinic in Verulam has 800 patients registered on the program.
I actually quite enjoy what I'm doing. I have a passion for my profession, and I think that comes out in my work, if I can say so for myself. I enjoy what I'm doing. I see the benefits of the program. I see the improvement in the patients.
Medical supplies sometimes run out in government facilities, but ARVs are always available in these clinics.
The ARVs are always available for the patients all the time when the patient comes, because we do book our patients, and we sometimes do get patients who are referrals from other clinics or who are transfer-ins from other clinics, but we're managing to cater for all those groups.
And the patients have faith in the service provided by the clinics. Ngomane credits the city's dedicated nursing staff.
As management, we really commend the staff, the frontline health workers who have ensured that patients who require treatment are put on treatment. There are examples of staff who work even outside of their working hours.
6 million South Africans are HIV infected, making the country one of the worst affected by the disease worldwide. Studies show that many patients are still tested at a late stage of infection, which comes too late for many who live with HIV. Durban's effective ARV treatment program is one way of dealing with problems like these. Namkopo's SABC News, Durban.
Well, from HIV/AIDS, let's take a look at a fierce debate that is raging in KwaZulu-Natal about the use of municipal parks by religious groups ahead of next month's local elections.
Now, ratepayers argue that religious groups have no place in recreational places like parks and open spaces, and religious groups say they have nowhere else to go. Let's once again take a listen in on Linda Mkobozi's report.
Religious worshippers, a common sight at municipal parks across the province nowadays. Green open spaces, which used to be reserved for recreation seekers, now sacred ground for mostly Shembe Church followers. Ratepayers feel they are no longer welcome in parks, and children living near parks often can't access their playgrounds. 70-year-old John Bukas, a retired policeman, has lived in this block of flats in Durban for 20 years. He complains that besides the noise disturbance, there is also the issue of toilet facilities.
Every Sunday we have these people in our park, and they create noise, and they're here the whole day. There's no toilet facilities for them that are used wherever around here.
And lately, gatherings also take place during the week.
For some weeks they're here from Wednesday right through to the Sunday, making fires in the park and just creating havoc.
Reports to the municipality have been met with no reply. In downtown Durban, residents of Albert Park are also aggrieved. After 2 years, the tent of the eThekwini Community Church has become a familiar feature.
When it's Sunday, especially, when it's Sunday, you need to go and relax, but we can't do that anymore, because there are churches, they are making noise, they are praising their God,
It's not fair at all, especially when it comes to the noise. It's not good. The noise is too much for us, because this is also our park. We have a right to sit there, but when you get there, you bump into these people. They're coming to church, which is very wrong.
The eThekwini municipality concedes the use of the parks by religious groups has spiraled out of control. Initial permission was granted, but the practice is illegal and against the municipal bylaws.
The law does not allow us to allow people to use parks for religious purposes or for any other purpose on a permanent basis.
Ngobo says they have bent the laws if gatherings do not affect other people negatively. He says ratepayers are consulted extensively before permission is granted.
It's fair indeed the consultation that we allow these groups to use our facilities. We involve people at all times.
A statement denied by ratepayers.
The municipality consulting people about that tent in that Albert Park. I never heard of that.
No, nobody's consulted us. And I said, I've been a trustee in this committee here for a long time. They haven't come to the trustees or anything.
They want the city to put a stop to it.
No, can't the municipality find a place for these people to practice their religion away from people, so the noise doesn't affect them? Like on a Sunday you want to relax, and you got them screaming in the park at the top of their voices.
The religious groups claim their members also pay rates, while some charismatic African churches want to erect proper structures. They say church buildings often don't fall into the city's plans.
It's a legacy of the past where people should have places of worship. If people do not want to go to any particular church A or any church B, they must be allowed to go to church C. And I'm speaking here not about eThekwini Community Church as a church. I'm speaking generally about the Zions that are meeting under trees, about Nazareth Baptist Church who are also meeting in the parks. It's an indication that even in the past we needed a place or places where churches can be accommodated.
The Shambe churchgoers say they have no intention to move. It's up to ratepayers to decide whether they are satisfied on how municipalities deal with the issues of bylaws. Linda Mkobozi, SABC News, Durban.
The topic I'm sure we're still going to hear from in the future. Now, next up, the Freedom Front Plus is one of the smaller parties which is battling to keep its voters from straying to larger parties, especially the DA. After the break, party leader Peter Mulder explains why a vote for the Freedom Front Plus is not a vote wasted. Stay tuned.
How did it come to be that an exceptional cask-matured whiskey is made right here in South Africa? Well, in the mid-1800s, shipping a whiskey to the Cape wasn't exactly smooth sailing. So to ensure whiskey and the sea never again meet, a whiskey was created to rival the world's finest. 3 ships, internationally acclaimed cask-matured whiskey.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the one you love and hold them tight. So happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. We're happy together.
No, because it'll hurt my teeth. I just go through the pain. Scared of it, eh?
I would eat it, but on the right side.
My worst nightmare. No pain whatsoever.
Wow.
I can actually drink it. Wow, I'm really surprised. I think I want that toothpaste.
There's something magical in that toothpaste.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us for more election news.
In tonight's smaller party slot, we take a look at the Freedom Front Plus. Tabiso had said we'd be hearing from the leader, Dr. Peter Mulder, but that's not happening this evening. Instead, we're hearing from the deputy leader. That, of course, is Corné Mulder. Let's hear what he has to say.
Freedom Front Plus is the one party that you can trust with your vote. We believe that locals should be brought back into local government. Decisions are taken on levels where you don't have really a say, and it's time that you once again get say into what happens to your taxes which you pay every month. Freedom Front Plus has a proven record of a party that you can trust. We represent your values, and you will be the one that will benefit if you vote for the FF Plus.
Well, it's almost the end of tonight's show, but before we go, let's show you a story that we wanted to actually show to you on Monday night, but couldn't do so because of time constraints. The small town of Delmas in Mpumalanga has made international headlines for the waterborne diseases which plagued it between 1993 and 2007. Since then, the situation has improved, as Mweli Masilela reports.
Delmas falls under the jurisdiction of the Victor Kanye municipality. Its population is concentrated in the townships of Bokleng and Del Park. The area experienced 3 outbreaks of waterborne diseases. In 1993, a diarrhea and typhoid fever outbreak claimed the lives of at least 14 people. More than 2,000 cases of gastrointestinal diseases were treated by emergency teams. In 2005, typhoid fever killed 6 people. Hundreds of people were hospitalized. 2 years later, 1 person died and more than 600 were treated at local health institutions following yet another diarrhea outbreak. Water quality in the area remains compromised.
The
service is a bit slow sometimes, you know. And then one thing, sometimes, a lot of times, they bill you for something which you didn't use, you know.
Delmas gets most of its water from underground water sources via a number of boreholes. But what causes the water quality in the area to be unsafe? Delmas is located in a dolomitic area which is conducive to large-scale groundwater contamination, especially after heavy rains. Reports on the typhoid fever and diarrhea outbreaks noted groundwater contamination from boreholes. The boreholes were situated downstream of the oldest sewer system facility.
We've emphasized the problems over and over, and yet you can still see as today the condition of the stream, of the area here. It's just not acceptable.
We changed the way we were processing the water, because in those times we would extract water from the bowls, put a little bit of chlorine.
Poor water quality in Delmas is still having an adverse effect on the health of its people, even though the authorities have heeded the continued public pressure to improve the water quality. A multi-million rand water pipeline project to pump water from Gauteng to the area has been commissioned. A 40 million rand water purification plant has also been completed.
All that we are waiting for is to connect the boreholes to the major purification plant.
As the country once again prepares to go to the polls, political parties are out on the campaign trail. Most Delmas residents remain positive, and come election day, they will be queuing up to vote. Uppermost in their minds will be improved water quality. Moel Maslela, SABC News.
Well, that's it for tonight. As usual, it flies.
I know, it always flies. But thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again with you tomorrow night at 6 on SABC2 with a lot more election news.
From me, Tabisa Sitole and Asanda Gacho, our sign lady.
Yeah.
Good night.
Indeed. Have a lovely evening. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.